Salut, bonjour, comment vas-tu? J'espère que tu vas bien. Bienvenue sur la chaîne. Welcome to Writing Remedy, where writing is the remedy. In this video today, we are going to be discussing comparing grooming systems. This is actually a behind the scene to the Writing Remedy grooming system in comparison to some of your favorites, and specifically one fan favorite, I would say, or barn favorite, I would say. But before we get into this video, I must first ask you to please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a sweet, kind comment below, hit your notification and postification buttons, and please share the video because I'm certain you will have many opinions about these. So, in this video, we are going to be watching some comparisons. Now, this is probably part one to a multi-series of behind the scenes of the Writing Remedy grooming system. And you say, well, Kotalia, what do you mean grooming system? So we are in fact expanding our brand. So currently right now, we do have the Writing Remedy all natural fly insect and anti-parasitic spray. Now, of course, I've mentioned these many times before that because it's all natural, some individuals don't really give it an opportunity. But this is what I know for certain. As one that knows skincare, skin health, skin wellness, I will never create something that is not beneficial for human skin and the equine. Point blank, period. I also understand that depending on region and location and those types of things can also play a factor in how efficient something is. So for example, there may be one particular type of insect that is in one region that's incredibly invasive over another region. So there's that. But what I do know for certain is this: the product works, and that cannot be challenged for sure. Rather it's working on gnats, rather it's working on the bot flies, rather it's working on mosquitoes, for sure mosquitoes. It's also for ticks and fleas. It began as a product for dogs in 2016. And we just expanded it with some other things from that point. I also understand that, you know, there are many brands that claim to be all natural. There's many brands that are doing something that's very similar. But I always like to just communicate. It's not the fact that I can tell you it has A, B, C, 1, 2, and 3 in it. The truth is, it's the percentages of the things. It is the way the formula it is made. Our formula is water-based, so it doesn't, you don't have to worry about burning the horse and having those issues and problems, etc. And it's so funny because I've seen people that go, oh, we would love to use it, but there's things in there that, you know, that are allergies, and that may be true. But I'm like, but you're also literally using a product that claims to be doing the exact same things with toxic chemicals. Then that isn't nothing, but I'll leave that up to you. So a big part of the Writing Remedy universe is beautification. Like I said, skin care, skin health, hair health is very important to me. Beautification is very important to me. So in creating this, it wasn't just a matter of, oh, I want to stay away from the bugs. It is also, is it beneficial to the skin? Is it beneficial to the hair? Is it beneficial in every aspect possible? And it actually is. And so this product is available at ridexremedy.com. You can find it there. We have it in the 16-ounce bottles and smaller bottles as well. We've had requests to make larger bottles, and we do want to change the spray top because it is more of a mist. So I would prefer to have a top that is going to be more direct and less open, misty in that way. So there's that. So in this video, we are going to be exploring our brand's grooming system, meaning we are expanding beyond the fly repellent, the insect repellent, the antiparasitic. We are expanding beyond this. We are actually going to, or we have actually began formulating a shampoo, a conditioner, a leave-in, a sheen. There's a whole system that you'll be able to use. And this is formulated with the top ingredients possible, the most natural you can possibly get it. Because there are some things, it's like when people, again, as a licensed advanced skin therapist and working in that industry, owning my own makeup, a lot of companies will say, oh, there's no mineral oils. You cannot make a cosmetic, specifically a liquid cosmetic, without mineral oils. You just can't do it. And the mineral oil may not be heavy weighted, etc., so forth and so on. But normally there is a mineral oil in there, even if you want to call it something different. Okay, de l'huile, it's still an oil. So it's really important to understand that our system is being formulated to a certain standard for humans and the equine. But beyond this, it is also been tested for months on end. We're checking climate. I live in a very hot, humid, incredibly unpleasant climate that comes with a lot when it comes to just skin health in general. So watching to see if the product, how it moves, how it, if it separates, if it does it have a longevity when it comes to the shelf life and all of these things. So we are working towards all of these things. I'm actually working with my cousins or my cousin in France who is also a celebrity hairstylist and like worked with like Paris Fashion Week and the whole nine and all of these things. But we are literally taking our time. We're speaking to manufacturers, we're running through all of those details, but we're also very aware of what functionality is, the functionality over the fragrance, the functionality over the beautiful aesthetics. What is the functionality? So in this video today, and this was done months and months ago, I wanted to see I see this brand being sponsored. I see people using it in the barn. I smell it. It smells incredible. But my thing is, what is the functionality of our product and their product? Now, let me say this too. Corbeau is the best candidate for this because he is a Frisian sport, so he has the mane. However, I did not consider this cold-natured horse coming to this tropical climate and the shenanigans of allergies and things that would come with that. So in the process of actually doing these trials has been quite, I won't say challenging, but had to be a little bit strategic for sure. And we will get into this later on. I think it'll probably be in part 2 where you will see, first and foremost, I'm only using our product solely on the mane starting out because I didn't want it to be on anywhere else on the body. I didn't want it to spread anywhere on the body. I just wanted it to be in this one centralized area. In this video, you're going to see where I'm using this very popular brand. And with this popular brand, I'm looking for, well, first and foremost, what is our consistency compared to theirs? And beyond consistency, so the feel of it. Why is that important? Because I need to know how it's going to move. So do I have a shampoo that is very creamy and it requires a lot? or I'm like the Riding Remedy brand, or do I have a product that is a little bit looser, more silky, and allows a greater spread? Is it spreading but not creating enough cleaning agent, so it's not lathering, versus heavy lather, more product? And so then I have to think, okay, so I'm giving you these 16-ounce bottle or container of product, and you're having to use 8 ounces of it on one part of the body. That isn't sustainable, right? If it's a premium product, really, what does that look like? What does that actually look like for this? So I really want to check out consistency. There is no fragrance, and I don't care about the fragrance right now. It's all about the function. And the reason why I bring that up is because sometimes the aesthetics, even the aromatic aesthetics, can draw you in. Oh my gosh, it smells so luxurious, it smells so great. But the functionality, what is the functionality? So looking at how it works on dirty hair versus clean hair, is it even a possible, is it a possibility? And I quickly understood. No, that is not even going to happen. If it's not clean, you just shouldn't even approach it, to be honest. But then also creating some different agents that do allow you to do things right away and keep it moving. If where your horse may not be the cleanest, not saying that you have not cleaned them, but just saying, hey, you got a lesson and it's a clinic and you don't have time to, for example, for humans, you have like the dry shampoos, right? Creating something that gives you that same functionality in those very tight crunch moments, perhaps. So just really trying to figure out, and not in the way of comparison, in the way of is mine better, but if this is the standard, where does mine fall? Where do we need to improve? Where do we need to pull back? What do we need to throw out altogether? So you'll get to see this in part one. I'm showing you the consistency. I'm showing you the feel. I'm seeing how it moves. I'm interested in those things. And that's where we're starting out. And I was very surprised in a variety of ways, and also to just doing, and I don't know if I may actually combine part one and part two and just make one big part one, because there were things that I saw the second time that I didn't see the first time. And that may be quite important to show. So we'll see. So you'll get to see that, and you'll get to see this entire journey. But I also want to know in the comments, what are the things are you looking for your grooming products? When you think about your horse, when you're thinking about your equine friend, your equine partner, what are you looking for regarding grooming, shampoo, conditioner, sheen? What is something that you wish for that isn't on the market, that we may, because we haven't put this on the market yet, we still may be able to formulate something or create something that allows or fill in that void in the community, right? There's so much more, because even like in the process, it's been over 6 months now, to be honest. It's been over 6 months now, to be honest. And Corvo's over there, hay is everywhere. And like Corvo there was a heat wave during this winter, and he had an allergy where his hair began to come out, and that was due to bugs, insects, as well as using a medicated shampoo that was too strong, but was advised, because I didn't do anything without proper consulting, whether my trainer, instructors, or my vets, always. And so like that was an interesting moment. And then like now, for example, it's just now May, it'll be 90 degrees in a few days. Yellow flies, new allergies, new plants, rubbing, and there's this balance even with him when it comes to, do I leave him in the stall to preserve one, his mane, well, his coat color, but also during the day, do I leave him there for this, but risk him rubbing out his mane because it's still quite hot? He's in the inside, so in the stalls here, there's outside stalls and inside stalls. He's on the inside, so he does get more shade. He's not getting the sun all day. But in the same token, it's like it's still hot, it's still warm, it's still humid. He still has a lot of hair. So even at braiding, and like yesterday, I literally was looking at his braid because it had only been a week, and I looked and I took it down and so much came out where he's rubbed it. And it's like, okay, so do you let him out and he fades and he may have his mane, but then he has the nicks, and like it's so hot here, he can't go out in a like a UV situation. He's also 4 years, he'll be 4 in June, so he tears those up. There's so many like personal challenges and like personal things, but then also too, I mentioned it multiple times, this is not our climate, this is not our environment. We have to move for sure, even if it's just for the summer, for sure, which will give me more of an opportunity to show you the best of our product, because I want you to see what it does for him. I want you to see where he is, where things are. We'll do before and afters, and then you'll see it for yourself. And so I just wanted to share that. Anyways, I've been talking a lot. Let's get into the video. I hope that you enjoy it. And again, please comment below your feelings and your thoughts about your grooming products, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what you think, what is a product that the market needs that has yet to be invented or presented. So again, what we're going to be looking for here is consistency. On this day, I specifically used the Detangler. That's it. The Detangler from our line versus the Detangler from another well-known line. You will see here the consistency is thicker. It's not very liquidy. In fact, I actually put way too much in my hand for the section I was using. I decided to, one, approach this with dirty hair to see truly, will this detangle in the worst conditions? And normally you wouldn't want to do that because of buildup. You don't want to see buildup. You don't want it to weigh the hair down, etc. So I approached it in this way first, wanting to see how it felt. If there was any residue, there was no residue, which means the product is holding onto those cuticles, perhaps, but it provides me with the data that I need. From here, I really just want the product to sit just a little bit, just so I can see if it is doing and providing the benefits that it should before I move on to the next product. The next product, again, is a very well-known company, has a lot of visibility, and I was very interested to see the difference. So immediately, this was their product, and I was shocked because I didn't expect for it to be so liquidy, and that was a little bit concerning for me, particularly because it's very difficult to choose how much you want. In using theirs, the fragrance is phenomenal. Placing the product onto the hair, and again, this is in the worst state. It's not combed, it's not brushed. It is simply put right onto dirty hair. This product actually did not actually hold to the hair, there was actual residue on my hands. So to me, that tells me that the molecules are either not penetrating because the molecules and the particles are too large, which means it's going to sit on top of the follicle instead of being absorbed into. So there was a little bit of stickiness there, and that can be seen a little bit on my hands, and very different. It's not as silky, it's not very moisturizing, but it smells incredible. From here, I wanted to just sort of unravel and begin to comb, and I must say, trying to detangle in these conditions are not the best because one, the hair is dirty. Two, Corbeau has had no haircut, no trimmings or anything of that nature. So once those conditions are also different, we're going to see a different. Both of these products, ours and theirs, had a very similar experience. For ours, it was more detangling, but it did seem somewhat weighted, whereas the other one had less weight because I guess more was on my hand, and still also detangled. So welcome back. I do hope that you enjoyed the video. I am very interested to hear about your experiences. I actually have, there's a groomer here, a local groomer, and I want to give her our complete system and let her use it from top to bottom as a professional groomer so she can say, hey, look, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm experiencing, if I'm using this versus this brand. Because I think, like, I'm not going to speak for them, but we've had a brief conversation, and I recall them mentioning how they sort of go about doing their services, and I would be interested to see how what they do with the product that they use versus what they do with our product, how it goes about. But you all, I have to remind you all, check us out at ridexremedy.com and listen. I do not doubt this product at all. Even if you say, well, you know what, Cotalia, at the barn, the gnats are just next level. This isn't enough. We need to, whatever. That may be true, possibly. I'm not here to, go, oh, well, it's just going to do this and that for, everybody everywhere. But what I will say, when it comes to mosquitoes, there is nothing better. Nothing better. If you live in a climate, north, south, east, or west, and there are mosquitoes, there is nothing better than these. I guarantee you. I can promise you that. You will not be bit at all. But also remember, the product is great for the skin. It is not just a repellent, but it is also skin care. It is skin health. And so I would just love to see many of you using it. Really give our product an opportunity. Give it a chance. You may be pleasantly surprised. This would be easy for you to give to your children to use, and you wouldn't have to worry about them, spraying in their eyes or getting in their mouth and having any kind of toxins. It's just not going to happen with this. It can't. It won't. So thank you so very much for your energy, your time, and your efforts. I'm interested to hear about what you have to say about products that you use, what you saw in this video, what you would like. And until next time, again, thank you so much for watching Ride and Remedy, where riding is the remedy.